All right, hello and welcome to a session of Fit Essentials. My name is Shauna. I'll be guiding you through the session. We're going to use the short bands at the first part of the class after we get through our warm up here. So let's go ahead and come on. Actually, we're not going to come to our feet. We're going to come to a kneeling position on the ground. Right. So if you're comfortable to kneel, that's where we're going to start. We're going to do our breathing. We're going to do 6 cycles. The first 3, we're going to support the spine, hands on the low back. If you're comfortable there, we'll take the hands behind the head for the second round of 3 breaths. So we're going to stand or kneel nice and tall. As we breathe in, you're going to think about lifting up out of your spine, rolling your shoulders back, turn your eyes up towards the sky or ceiling. And then on the exhale, lifting up the spine, but now we're going to round forward, chin in towards the chest, nice smooth exhale, tuck the hips down and under, twice more. Breathe in, lift, extend, expand, pull those elbows back, and exhale, round forward. One more. Try to breathe in through the nose, squeeze that bum as you lift up, and exhale, chin to the chest, shoulders gently round forward, tuck that head down and in. Very nice. From there, either keep the hands there or we're going to bring them up behind the head and 3 times there. So we'll start on the exhale this time. Gently exhale, pull those elbows in, chin down to the chest. Inhale, lift and open. In through the nose, pausing at the top. Twice more. Exhale, round forward, chin down to the chest. Try to curl up like a ball. One more time. Breathe and open. Squeeze the bum as you lift. Another exhale. And final inhale. Divide the arms, lifting through the chest, squeeze the bum. Go ahead and finish the exhale. And bring those arms down. Fantastic. Go ahead and roll the wrist around just a little bit. 3 to 5 one way, 3 to 5 the other. All right, we're gonna do a couple stretches for the lower body, and then we're gonna come up to our feet for our first circuit. So you're gonna come down onto your side. We're gonna stretch out our quads first. Bring the elbow in underneath the shoulder. Go ahead and grab that top foot, pull the heel back. We're gonna hold 20 seconds on each side. We have some banded walks this morning with some squats, some glute bridges, and some side plank clamshells. And go ahead and release that leg, spin yourself around, same thing on the other side. Elbow underneath the shoulder. We're looking to grab the foot of that top leg and hold it for 20 here. Great time to just close the eyes, breathe, gently driving the thigh back. A couple more breaths. Still trying to focus on that in through the nose, gently out through the mouth. Let's go one more. And release. Very good. From here, we're going to make our way back over to all fours for our quadruped hip rock. Knees come in so that they're touching. Pull that belly button in just to gently round the low back, not to be extended. So belly button in and then hip rock here, bringing the hips towards one side, up and across. Same thing on the other. Get about 3 times each side. Really supporting through that upper body. Gently stretch out the side of the hips into the low back area. One more time each side. And across. Very good. We're going to come into a plank position next. Spread those fingers nice and wide. Grip the fingertips down. Come into a plank. Then you're going to take your left foot. Step it forward as much as you can. Try to get that heel flat on the ground. And you're just going to gently rock your hips side to side. Shin vertical, heel planted on this forward foot. When you're ready, step that left foot back. Go ahead and walk your hands in a little bit closer as you need. Push the head between the arms for our first down dog. Gently exhale as you gently pulse the head between the arms. Let's give a pedal of the heels. Give a little love to those calves. Very good. And then we're going to balance out the other side. Nice wide handprint coming back into that push-up position. And now right foot, long step, bringing that foot as close as you can to that right hand and rocking the hip side to side. Nice and gentle. All right, we're gonna go one more time in a down dog. Step that right foot back, hips go high. Start with a focus on the mid back, gently lengthening and gently pulsing, giving some extension to that low back or mid back. And then instead of a quick pedal, lower one heel down, trying to bring that heel towards the floor, holding for about 5 to 8 seconds. And then when you're ready, lift that heel up and lower that other heel down. Just taking your time, not rushing it, really inviting that calf to lengthen. About 5 to 8 seconds on that side. Let's go one more time each side. Good, switch feet when you're ready. Fantastic. Then when you're done with the calf stretch, inchworm your way back up to standing. Walk the hands to the feet, feet to the hands, and come on up. All right. It's going to be 2 cycles through. If you want to use the band, we're doing 90 seconds of a banded walk with some squats built in. And we'll come down to the mat. 30 seconds of a side plank clamshell on each side. If you want to use the band for that part, you can. Rolling onto our back for either a bridge hold. I'm going to hold the bridge on the first round and then do glute bridge march on the second round. All right, everyone, standing nice and tall. I'm going to bring the band around just below the knees for the first round, just above the knees for the second round. It's just slight variation to which muscles fire. Standing tall, toes straight ahead. And when you're ready, we're going to sit back and just like a little quarter squat, and we'll start our walk from there. Here we go. So you're going to step about 3 to 5 steps to one side. When you get there, we're going to go between 2 and 3 squats before we switch directions. So warming up that squat, driving the knees wide against the band, sinking back as far as you're comfortable. And then when you're ready, you'll take it the other way. Little quarter squat to step into, 3 to 5 that way. And then your choice, if you want to do 2 squats, if you want to do 3 squats. We're 30 seconds into our 90-second interval. Not looking to rush. There you go. Good. So just a slight toe out when you're squatting instead of having the toes straight on, just a little mild toe out. Sometimes people tend to overdo it on that. Very good. We're over halfway. We have just over 30 seconds left. Looks good. Fantastic. I go one more time, down and back, and then make my way down to the floor. So kind of take an inventory of where you started. Try to end on an even set. All right, just under 10 seconds. So go ahead and finish up so that you're balanced out. And then we're gonna make our way down to the floor. Side plank clamshells are first, so you're welcome to keep the band on your legs. If it's below the knees, I'm just gonna shimmy it a little bit so that it's above the knees. From here, I'm gonna bring my elbow just underneath the shoulder. Knees are bent, feet and legs are stacked together, and now we're gonna be lifting up into that side plank, off the knees, and the top leg lifts up and down. We're gonna go 30 seconds on each side. Here we go on the first side. And I have my feet touching, and I'm just dividing the knees. So my soles of my feet are kind of touching each other, driving one knee up and lowering it down. Clamshell, just like it's called. Holding that bridge position throughout, starting to feel that midline fire. Downside hip, go a couple more. And rest, good job. Swing it around, same thing other side. Gonna do a good setup with the upper body, feet and knees bent, and here we go. Come up into that side posture. Downside leg, that knee stays planted. And again, feet are stacked on top of each other. There you go. Lifting it up, closing it down. Halfway through, just over halfway rather. We're rolling onto our backs next. 2, 1, and rest. Good job. You're gonna take it onto your back. You can keep that band there. Set those shoulders so that they're backing down as you lie flat. So I realized I kind of disappeared to the shadow there. From here, for the bridge hold on the first round, you're gonna bridge the hips up, drive the knees out. If it doesn't feel good to hold that position, you can do some pulses where you bridge them up and down. Otherwise, if you're okay to interlace those hands, work those shoulders underneath the body. And now we're gonna hold this bridge for 30. Chin pulled in, fire the bum. Just check my time. All right. So we're trying to lengthen through the spine as you hold, driving through those heels, squeezing the back side of the body, lengthening through that low back. And as you breathe in this time, try to expand the front of the rib cage. So think about expanding your chest, lifting that chest up towards the ceiling. Couple more breaths. 2, 1, and relax. Good job. Bring those hips down. Just take a quick moment here. Hug those knees in towards the chest. A little double knee to chest. Rock the legs side to side. All right, beautiful. Then when you're ready, make your way back up to your feet. We're going to start our second round here in 10 seconds. So the first time we did the band just below the knees. Now I'm going to shimmy it up or keep it up there so that's just above the knees. Check in with your feet, toes pointing straight ahead. Come into a little quarter squat, and here we go. Maybe just a little faster this time. Stepping it out, 3 to 5 steps with 2 to 3 squats at each end. Feet firmly planted, chest nice and tall. There you go, good. Beautiful, reach those arms out, help encourage that chest to stay upright. First 30 seconds done. Wonderful. There you go. Halfway through, that's 45. Trying to get that nice and deep in that depth, holding that strong midline tension throughout. All right, final 30 seconds. Keep an eye on your area. I'm gonna try to even it out so you come back to the start. So I'm gonna take it back and rest the remaining time. Just about 15 seconds left. It's okay if you finish a little early. We'll just start that transition down for the side planks. Beautiful. 5 seconds left. And 3, 2, 1, and transition on down. All right. Side plank clamshells. We'll start in 10. So I'll keep that band there. I'm gonna pull that elbow in. Knees and legs are bent here. Lift that top leg up, coming up into that side plank, and here we go. Knees together and lift. Good. There you go. And I'm half in the shadow, but I can see you all a little bit better when I'm here. Drive that knee up and bring it down and in. Good. Over halfway. Lifting up, don't let that side bridge drop. So hold a strong bridge throughout. Let's get one more. Rest and transition, swing it around. Same thing other side. All right, pull that elbow in. Feet and legs bent. 2, 1, come on up. And here we go. Feet are together, knee lifts up and controls back down. Just take note, I do a pretty light band for these. Shouldn't feel like you're really straining a whole lot, just a light resistance. Good. 10 seconds, just a little less than. We're gonna roll onto our back next. You can either do the same thing we did last round or join me for the single leg march. Go ahead and relax there in that side plank. Let's take it onto your back. So for the single leg glute bridge march, this is the version that we hold that bridge the whole time and alternate lifting one leg up and down. So pull the shoulders back and down, feet bent, knees bent, feet about hip width apart. And 2, 1, here we go. So I'm gonna come up into that bridge. And then from the bridge, I can lift one leg down and then the other. Every time you bring the legs down, check in with that bridge. Try to lift the hips back up And then up, down, up, and down. Good. I can feel myself dropping in. So trying to lengthen through the spine. No jamming into that low back. And 2, 1, and rest. Fantastic. Go ahead and slide that band off your body. Set it to the side. We're going to do a couple stretches here before we jump up. We've got some dumbbell thrusters we're getting ready for next. So let's say hello to those hips. Extend your left leg straight out. Pull your right knee towards the right shoulder. And roll that right ankle around. Let's go 5 times. One direction. And then switch that ankle roll. Turning the foot the other way. As you finish up that ankle roll, you're going to take the right knee from the right shoulder, kind of sweep it across the body, pulling it into the chest across the left to get a little bit more into the glute. And reset the head. I kind of had my chin lifted up and in, so lift the neck off the ground, pull that chin in, lengthen through the back of the spine. One more breath here. And release. Good job. Same thing other side. Right leg, actively push that thigh down into the floor. Left knee towards the left shoulder to start. You go right into those ankle rolls. 5 times one way. Good. And 5 times the other. Fantastic. Gently bring that leg across the body. Still hucking it in towards the chest as you bring it towards your right shoulder. And holding here for a couple breaths. Beautiful. We're going to go one more. Our figure 4, right foot crosses over the left thigh. Go ahead and hug that left thigh in. Very nice. Now we'll wake up the hamstring, little sciatic nerve action on the left leg. Extend the leg, pulling the toes towards your face. Point those toes away. Pull them back towards you as you bend the knee down and in. Good. Twice more. Extend, point, lift. And as you're still pulling the toes towards your face, that's where you'll bend it down and in. And last cycle. Up, point, lift, and down and in. Very good. In between both legs, we're going to add a little 2-knee twist. Legs up and together, arms splay wide out to the side, and then bring both legs over towards one side, turning your head the opposite direction. Nice and gentle here. And then when you're ready, sweep those legs up and across. Same thing other side, turning the head. Beautiful. One more time each side. Balance it out. And when you're ready, figure 4 opposite side. So now left foot to the right thigh, hugging the right thigh in. And we'll add the sciatic nerve on the right leg, extending the leg, toes pulled towards you, point the foot away, pull it back towards your face, bending that leg down and in. Fantastic. Twice more. And last one. Up, point, lift, and taking it down and in. Wonderful. Go ahead and release there. Anything else that you feel you want to add in? Otherwise, we'll make our way up to our feet. Feel free on your way over. Once you roll over, if you want to add in a couple little cat cows, cat camels, dropping the head down, lifting up. 3 to 5 cycles there. Exhaling as you round, inhaling as you lift. Twice more. Exhale, inhale. Very good. On that next exhale, I'm going to turn the toes under, drive those hips high. Final time for now into down dog, and then I'm going to walk my way up. Wonderful. Good job. As you come up to your feet, grab a drink of water. Going to give just a little bit of an upper body stretch from standing, and then we'll get rolling into our next circuit. All right. So feet about hip width apart. We're going to do a little side stretch here. Reaching up, take your right hand, grab that left wrist, Root down into your legs, then bend your body to the side. Hold in here for about 2 to 3 breaths, trying to lengthen a little bit more without forcing. Before you come out of it, see if you can just very gently rotate. Turn your downside shoulder up towards the ceiling or sky, peering your head. Next inhale, come on out. Give it a little shake to those arms, add a little side step into it. Very good. Shake it all out, and then same thing other side. Reach your right arm up, grab that wrist with your left hand, a little bend to those knees, and taking it over to the opposite side. Breathe into that area of tension, in through the nose, out through the mouth. Good, on that last breath, gently turn that downside shoulder up towards the ceiling or sky, turn the head as well, last breath. On that next inhale, come on up. Good job. One more time, back to that arm swing, side step, arm swing. All right, so we're gonna get ready for some single arm dumbbell thrusters, ideally looking to alternate arms here. So if you have 2 weights that you wanna hold, you can hold 1 in each hand. I was not smart enough to bring out 2 weights right now, so I'm gonna be coming down with 1, pushing up, and I'm gonna switch hands, lowering down and drive. If you have 2 that are matched, you can just hold them just like this, drive 1 up, come down and up, drive the other one up, okay, or switching underneath the chin. We're gonna work for a full minute on those dumbbell thrusters. I'll try to give you the 30-second and the 45-second mark. If you wanna rest a little bit sooner, you can. After the dumbbell thrusters, we're gonna make our way into a single arm row, either straight on, or you can add that kneeling torso rotation where you row it up and in and then turn your body. That's the version I'll be doing. If you feel a little stiff in the back, that's either gonna feel better or it's gonna feel a little bit worse. So make any adjustments you need if it doesn't feel like rotating. All right, we're gonna get started here in 10 seconds, 3 rounds total. So set those feet for the squat, slight toe out, chest nice and tall. I'm gonna pretend I'm holding 2 here. 2, 1, here we go, squatting down. One arm drives up, bringing it down, and then same thing other side. Squat down, opposite arm drives up. Good. Nice smooth breathing. First 15 seconds. Beautiful. Up. And I see, Jean, you're kind of doing a standing from the squat and then pressing. That's not wrong necessarily, but if you want to kind of give a little boost out of it as you're coming out of that squat, there you go. You can go straight to overhead. We're over 30 seconds in, almost to 45. That's 45. Good. Yeah, eyes up, Sharon, chest tall coming out of that squat. Maybe 1 more each side. And rest. Beautiful. Feel free if you want to grab a quick drink. Otherwise, we're going to get ready for that kneeling torso row. So if you're going to start in your left hand, you're going to step your right foot forward, left foot back, forearm rests down. And going in 3, 2, 1. Here we go. Elbow comes high. And if you want to add that gentle rotation, follow the elbow with your eyes, reaching down, up. If you're rotating, think about lifting up out of that downside shoulder, elbow high, gently rotate, and down and release. Good. Going a full 40 seconds here. Still thinking nice long neck position. Thinking shoulder down out of the ear. Very nice. That's 30 seconds, so 10 to go. Reaching down, elbow high, last one, and rotate. Good job. Stand up in between. Give yourself a nice little quick torso rotation. And we'll make our way towards that other side. So now your left foot steps forward, right foot steps back. Rest that left forearm on the left thigh. And 2, 1, here we go. Elbow high, follow that rotation. Breathe in, reach, and row. And as you get it warmed up, you can kind of make it one fluid move where I'm rotating as I pull that elbow up and in. It always kind of reminds me a little bit different angle of the upper body. Kind of reminds me of starting those push mowers with the pull cord start. Kind of like drive up and rotate. 30 seconds in, 10 to go. And 3, 2, 1, and rest. Fantastic. We're gonna take 30 seconds in between sets. Make any changes you want with the weights. Now I have 2 rounds left, so I do have 2 weights with me. They're uneven, so I'm gonna hold one weight in one side, other weight in the other, and then switch it next round through. All right, 10 seconds, we're back to our thrusters, alternating arms. Set the feet for the squat, slight toe out. 2, 1, and begin. Controlling into that squat. Drive one arm up. Next time through, opposite arm up. Good. Nice control into that squat, Jean. Very nice. Solid. Those eyes looking straight ahead. Awesome. Coming up on our first 30 seconds. And you can really kind of pace this one, pausing when you bring that weight down from overhead. Good, we're over 30 seconds in, coming up on 45. Get those elbows up and forward as you lower. Not letting that chest drop down. Good, 45 done. A little bit longer intervals this morning. Maybe one more. And rotate. Beautiful. Torso row. Start on your left arm. Right foot's gonna step forward, left foot back. Kneeling down. And 2, 1, here we go. Elbow high. Rotation if you'd like. Lifting up out of that downside. Pulling that elbow as high to the sky as you can. Nice. Halfway, that's 20. I like to give some little attention to like my ring and little baby finger, like I'm trying to pull through on that hand, elbow high, kind of engaging those smaller fingers, and rest. We tend to be more dominant like in pulling with the front side, kind of rounds the shoulder forward. So if you think the back side of the hand gets that shoulder set back a little better. All right, same thing other side, starting in 10. So set your left foot forward, right foot back. Go ahead and come into a nice solid kneeling position. And here we go. Exhale as you row. Follow that elbow with the gaze. Breathe in to reach. Good. Midline strong as you move. Reaching forward. Exhale, driving high. We're over halfway. Good, 1 or 2 more. Reach, row, reach, row, and everybody rest. Woo! All right, come on up, shake it out. Maybe a little side reach, up and down. We're gonna do that one more time through, starting in 20 seconds. Time for a little drink. Get back to it. All right, 10 seconds till we go. Set those feet for the squat. Chest tall. 2, 1, and begin. Control down, drive tall. Make a point not to let the back arch as you reach to overhead. So think front side of the ribs kind of down and in. As I push high, bring that weight kind of straight up to the center of the head. Wonderful. There you go, that's 30 seconds in. If you're a little bit more fatigued today, feel free to rest it early. No guilt, no shame. Just making an adjustment for your body. 45 done. Woo! Beautiful, maybe one or two more. And there's our rest. All right, shake that out. Bent over row, last time each arm. Starting on your left, right foot forward, left foot back. 3, 2, 1, here we go. Thinking about that ring and little finger, kind of like trying to pull through the weight with those. Like thinking the downside part of your shoulder blade, the lower portion, trying to squeeze into the spine. Good. Halfway. Breathe in to reach. Exhale as you row. Turning the head as well. Very good. We just add in more muscles that are working when we give that rotation. And there's our 40. Go ahead and rest. Nice work. Same thing other side. So now left foot forward, right foot back. Nice deep breath. Go ahead and come down and in position. Going in 2, 1, and begin. Reach, row. Nice. Breathing consistent. That's our first 20 seconds. Halfway through. Good. Gentle turn of the head. And 2. Oops, sorry, 5 seconds, maybe one more. And there's our time. Whew. All right, nice work. Come on up. Shake it out. Let's grab some water. All right, we've got some Tabata intervals coming up next. While we're transitioning, we're gonna stretch out those quads once again, this time from standing. So standing tall, practice your balance here if you're comfortable to do so. Grab that foot, pull the heel towards the glute. Wonderful, lifting tall out of that hip. Shoulders back and down, 10 more seconds here. Hips level, not letting them drop down. 2, 1, and rest. In between sides, give a little circle of those hips. Circling the hips through. About 5 times one direction. Be nice and gentle here. Kind of feeling for any catching points. Keeping it smooth. Wonderful. And switch, taking it the other way. Love the overall Sharon coming straight out of the garden into her class. Fantastic. All right, and then we got to balance it out. Same thing, other foot. I'm like, okay, which one did I do? I think I did that one. So lifting up, grab that opposite foot. Here we go. So Tabata intervals simply means like a designated time frame. We're gonna work for 20 seconds and we'll have 10 seconds to transition. We're gonna do 2 different intervals. First one will be down on the floor with a forearm march or a forearm plank. Go ahead and relax there. Let's go a nice inner thigh stretch with a behind the back stretch. So first, side lunge, reach the arms out, bending side to side. So from the forearm plank, we roll over onto our backs and we'll do 20 seconds of sit-ups, focusing on that posture. So I wrote sit up, sit tall, not just crunching forward. Take the behind the back stretch next. So we'll do that 4 times through, 20 seconds of a forearm plank, roll it over, 20 seconds of a sit-up. After 4 rounds there, I'll take like a 1 to 2 minute break. And then we're gonna repeat that pattern with a squat for 20 seconds. You could hold some weight or just work an air squat. And then we'll give some different variations of a blood flow. So march and punch, running high knees. If you wanna grab on some weights for a farmer's march, any option there. But on the ground first. So feel free to grab a little drink of water because the intervals are gonna go quick. All right. We are going to start in 10 seconds. Actually, let's make it more like 20, because I want to just show the forearm plank march. So you're either going to hold the forearm plank just like so. If you want to do the march, you're going to reach one arm out and down and the other out and down, keeping your hips as level as you can as you reach. Okay. And then on your back for sit-ups. All right, come on down, starting in 5 and 3, 2, 1, begin. Chin in, holding strong. Kind of challenges that mid-back extension to reach that arm straight up. So if it feels tough, you're not alone. Over halfway. And 2, 1, and rest. Roll on over to your back. You can either wait till I say go. If you're ready to start when you get there, you can start. Head relaxes back, arms reach overhead. 2, 1, begin. Sit tall out of your sit bones. See if you can gently reach between your legs and touch your heels. Sitting straight up. Pull the belly button in as you roll back. Halfway. Breathe as you sit. Breathe in. 2, 1, and transition. That's set 1. We're going to do it 3 more times. Just rolling it right back over to the forearm plank. And 3, 2, 1. Here we go. I have my feet just a little bit wider than I normally would for a push-up. Going to help stabilize a little better for this plank march. Reaching the arms out. Halfway. Really feel that midline contract to hold yourself as level as you can. And rest and rotate. Fantastic. Flip it back over. Transitions are half of it here. Onto your back and begin sitting tall. Stay connected to that breathing. Shoulders back and down, posture nice and tall. Excellent, ladies, over halfway. Reaching back. There you go, good. And finish that rep, rest and rotate. That's our halfway point. We're gonna do it twice more. Right back onto those forearms and begin. Chin in, looking right down between the forearms as you reach that hand up, palm down towards the ground if you're doing that plank march with the reach. And I really feel my hips wanting to shift as I reach. So that's one of the areas that we're trying to brace against. Holding that bridge throughout. And rotate. Third set of sit-ups. Taking it over, taking it back. 2, 1. Begin when you're ready. Still focus on that posture. Sitting tall. Breathe. Breathe in to lower. Exhale as you sit tall. Good. Breathe into lower and exhale, sit tall. Maybe one more. And transition. Good job. Final round. Back to the forearm plank. Feel free to get into that position as soon as you're there. 2, 1, reach. Kind of lift up out of the shoulders. Racing through the core. I mean, kind of squeezing those glutes to keep those hips balanced. Breathing going. 2, 1, and final transition. We're gonna go a full 30 seconds on this last set of sit-ups. So I'll roll it back. And 2, 1, begin. Sitting tall. Think about trying to bring that spine down segmentally. So pulling the belly button in as you sit back. All about training good, strong posture here. Halfway into that 30 seconds. Smooth breathing. Good, maybe 1 or 2 more. And everybody rest. All right, beautiful. Take a little breather. I'm gonna take 2 minutes, do a couple stretches in here, and then we'll be ready for our squats. So grab a little drink. Come on up. All right, so squats, up to you. You can hold some weight if you'd like. So I'm gonna hold it like right underneath my chin, call it a goblet squat, squatting down and up. Or you can just simply work the squat by itself, sitting back, standing tall, nice and rhythmic. Let's go ahead and just kind of give a couple of ankle rolls here. You can have that foot down or foot up. Just kind of make sure that ankle's moving around well. 30 seconds till we start. And switch that other side. So it's gonna be squats first, blood flow second. I'm gonna do 4 different versions of the blood flow. March and punch. Second round will be alternating knees to elbows. Then we're gonna go butt kickers, pulling the heels up underneath you, followed by a little cross crawl. So behind the back cross crawl. All right, we're gonna start with the squats in 10. Follow along with me or do your own version of blood flow. I'm gonna go unweighted for the squats. Standing tall, slight toe out, and begin. Controlling down, standing all the way up in between. Squeeze the glutes, standing tall. Good. Breathe into lower, exhale to stand. Good. Smooth. Heels planted, knees drive wide, and rest. Fantastic. It's me march and punch will be first. Arms out to the sides. 2, 1, when you're ready. I said to the sides, I meant up at your shoulders. So you can add a little hop here or just a regular march, totally up to you. Breathe. Wonderful. 2, 1, and 10 seconds rest. All right, back to our squats of set 2. Reset those feet, slight toe out. And here we go, controlling down, stand tall. Wonderful. Nice and consistent. Reaching back, push through your feet. So you're pushing your feet into the ground, generating that upward force. Wonderful. 2, 1, and rest. Good job. Set that weight down if you're using it. Alternating knee to elbow is next. Standing tall, arms out to the sides. Here we go. Try to exhale and see if you can touch that elbow to the knee. Totally okay if you can't. Just come as close as you can. Good. Almost there. And rest. All right, I'm gonna hold a light weight on the second half. Got 2 more rounds to go. Slight toe out. 2, 1, begin. Controlling down, standing tall. As the heart rate's getting a little higher, now I exhale twice each rep. I exhale in the bottom, exhale in the top. My body naturally breathes in between. Good. And rest. All right, that's a 3rd round already. So we're gonna go those butt kickers next. So I'm just about pulling the heels right up underneath. You can either march or lightly run in place. Heels towards the underside of the body. We oftentimes focus on high knees. Now we're just activating the hamstrings a little bit more. There you go. Nice. And rest. All right, one more time through. Final set of squats. Hold a light weight if you want. Slight toe out. 2, 1, and begin. Control down. As we put our emphasis on staying in the heels, we tend to lift up our toes. So try to just gently push your big toe into the floor or bottom of the shoe. Knees drive wide, chest up. Maybe 1 more. And rotate. All right. So cross crawl if you like that elbow to the knee, or if you feel stable to go behind the body, foot to the opposite hand. Here we go. And we're gonna go full 30 on this last one. Good. Fantastic. Less than 10 seconds. Well done there. All right, give yourself a little round of applause. We'll be extending out those intervals in upcoming weeks. So we'll go from 20 seconds to 30 seconds. Progressively making it a little bit harder as you go. All right, let's get some cool down stretches in. We're gonna start with our stagger stance tricep bend. So go ahead and step your left foot forward, right foot comes back, and you wanna think ribs down. Kind of stack those shoulders right over those hips. First, I'm gonna have like a little awareness here of that trail leg, shifting back, shifting forward. When you're ready, reach that right arm straight up, bend at the elbow, reach around, grab that elbow, and now shift the hip forward first. Squeeze that bum of the trail leg. From there, bend towards your left. Breathe in as you come back to center, and exhale as you take it to the side. We tend to lose that forward posture of the head here, so chin in, staying tall. But we lose the upright posture into that forward posture. Get my words more accurate. Exhale, side bends. Go one more after this one. Breathe in and breathe out. Fantastic. Shake it out. Same thing, other side. Right foot forward, left foot back. Now wake up those hips first. Shift them forward, shift them back. Guess I should be awake by now, right? Left arm reaches up this time. Ribs down, bend, reach up. So I'm thinking about lifting up out of those hips, gentle shift forward, and now bending towards your right. Breathe in, lengthen. Exhale, side bend. 3 more. Still trying to lengthen the front of that trail leg, squeezing the bum of the left leg. And about 1 more. And release, coming out of that. All right, keep those legs walked out nice and wide, behind the back stretch. Interlace, stretch it forward. Reach down to those legs, bring those arms right up to overhead. And as you bow forward here, just try to imagine your head nice and heavy. Allow gravity to give your neck a little bit of some gentle distraction, all the while keeping a bend into those legs, supporting the low back. So head heavy. 1 or 2 more breaths. When you're ready, gradually come on up and shake it out. All right, wonderful. From here, we're gonna make our way into a kneeling position. So if you need to double up your mat or anything to support on the knee, we're gonna come on down to the floor, basically in the bottom of the lunge with your left foot forward. So if your floor is a little bit firmer, if you can take your mat or a blanket, you can kind of, roll it up, roll it onto the side, and that'll give you a little bit more padding for the knee. From here, make sure your front foot's forward enough that that heel can stay flat. Similar to those tricep side bends, we're gonna reach those arms up to overhead. Instead of bending to the side this time, we're gonna shift our hips forward, and now we're gonna rotate. You can grab onto the wrist of that right hand and just kind of guide that upper body around towards your left. Try to squeeze the bum of that trail leg, squeeze the glute on that right leg. 1 more breath, and release. Bringing the arms down. Go ahead and take your left elbow on the inside of the knee. And I forgot to prep you for this. If you want to have your block nearby, if you need a pillow or anything to support, this is a good time to have it here at the instep. Otherwise, elbow on the inside of the knee, slide on down, and you want to just take a moment here, hover by that instep. Great time to also let that head be heavy again, kind of relax the head down. Hang out here for about 3 breaths, and then we're going to add some rotations for the mid-back. Good. When you're ready, you're going to start with your left hand. Take the fingertips, crawl underneath that opening underneath your right arm. From here, you're going to lift up. This right hand could be up on your block. Otherwise, you're going to reach that left hand up and follow it with your head, rotating back. Twice more. Walk the hand underneath that other arm. Reach, and then lift and rotate. Follow with the gaze. Good job. 1 more. Hold this open position for like 3 to 5 seconds on this last one. So lifting up, rotating back, spread the fingers nice and wide, and let that wrist extend back also. Holding for 1 or 2 breaths, and come on out. All right, we're gonna do the same thing on the opposite arm. So now you'll take your right hand, crawl underneath that left leg. And just like the other side, reaching up, following it out. 3 times total. Roll under, reach. And exhale, rotate, spreading the hand and fingers. One more time. Awesome job. Once you finish those 3 rotations, we're going to switch legs. Go ahead and bring your left knee down this time. Make any adjustments to your mat so that knee is comfortable and protected. And then you're going to step your right foot forward. You're going to start from that lunging position. Nice and tall. Interlace those hands. Reaching straight up, lifting up out of the hips. Starting to open that back. Hip flexor, rocking the hip forward. And now we're going to rotate towards the right. Turn the head as well. And you can take the right hand, grab that left wrist, just ever so gently encourage a little more rotation. Trying to squeeze the bum on that left side. Go ahead and release. And next on to the instep. So elbow on the inside of the knee, slide down the shin. Hang out here for 3 to 5 breaths, inviting that outer right hip to open. Low spider. And then using your block or a pillow as needed. Starting with your right hand, walking it underneath the left arm. Try not to rush these. Find the end range. How far can you reach? How far can you gently twist? 3 times total. On that third reach, we're going to hold for about 5 seconds or so, lifting up, spreading the fingers, letting that wrist relax back. And release. Good job. Same thing, second arm. Now your left hand, crawl underneath the right leg and rotate out 3 times here. And walk it under. And try to exhale as you rotate. One more time. Fantastic. All right, we're gonna go back to the first side, just checking in with my time. So you're gonna go back to your right knee down, left foot forward. We're gonna finish out the series here. So first thing you're gonna do here is you're gonna sit back onto your right heel. So you can stay up on the ball of the foot, or you can turn the foot down, whatever feels most comfortable to you. And we're extending your left leg. So a little bit of a hamstring stretch here. Try to sit tall and then just gently bow forward. So Sharon, I went from like a lunge, like a kneeling position, and then I just sat back and extended my front leg. There you go. So long spine, sit tall. If you want to reach, you can, or you can just support on each hand. We're gonna hold about 10 more seconds. Try to avoid those shoulders shrugging up. So pull the shoulders down. Very good. From there, we're going to rotate forward and we're going to go into pigeon neck. So you're going to turn that front foot down, kind of square the hips and knees. Depending upon your comfort level, if you're comfortable to lean forward, I'm going to go the first 15 seconds forward and then come up from there. So I'm coming down to the forearms, lowering the head down. Try not to just drop into that hip. So control and hold. Here comes the train. After a few breaths there, if you want to come up through the hands, shoulders back and down. Option if you want to take your right hand and grab your right foot. Totally okay if you can't quite get there. 10 more seconds here. Hi, Diane, great to see you. Couple breaths.
That train. Choo, choo.
Oh. And release. From here, seated twist. Go ahead and sit onto your left hip. Swing that back leg around. It's amazing how much you can hear it. It's like about a quarter mile away. Lengthen through the spine here. If you want to go deeper into that twist, we'll drive your left arm into that right thigh, walk the hand around, turn the eyes. It's our last one, and then we're going to balance it out on the opposite side. and go ahead and come on out. So if you're hugging your right leg to your chest, you're gonna come back to the lunge with your right leg forward. So be left knee down, right leg forward. And if you remember, we started with a hamstring stretch by sitting back on the back leg and then extend that front leg. So you can either be up on the toe or flat on the foot. Be patient with this one. Pulling the toes towards you. If you want to gently reach the hand out, you can. We're going to hold about 10 more seconds here. Hamstring stretches can get intense fast, so just kind of meet your body where it is. Try not to be in pain while you do it. Good. We're going to come forward and make our way into pigeon on this side. So square the hips and shoulders best you can. We're going to come low to start, so down on the forearms if you're comfortable to do so. We'll hold about 15 here and then come up to the higher position. Breathing. When you're ready, coming back up onto your palms, extending here. Option of taking your left hand and grabbing that left ankle. Very nice. Trying to reach for it. No worries, don't force it. And 3, 2, 1, and release. You're gonna sit onto that right hip and bring that back leg around. Final one, seated twist. Sit tall, hug that leg in. First 15 here. And then when you're ready, take your left hand, crawl the fingers behind you if you want to work your right elbow onto that left thigh. Staying tall through the spine, turning the head. We'll go another 15 here. And then we'll be all done. Fantastic. Gradually make your way out of that. This is a great time. I invite you to roll onto your back, lay flat for a few minutes. Anything else that your body's asking for? As always, stay well hydrated. Hopefully enjoy some delicious and nutritious food, and we'll see you next time.